It's Saturday and we're in. Even Sam's in on a Saturday. Can you believe it? We've assembled a dream team, about 7 of us, to come in when there's nothing else going on at Totally Branded to do what we're hoping is our sort of full and final stock take. It won't be final, but after we've implemented this new process that Mikey sort of really took the lead on, which is what we've called WIP, work in progress, and just with our stock management and how we're sort of tracking our movement of stock and stock allocation in the system. We've now sort of got everything in its correct locations. The mezzanine is set up and finished. And now what we want to do is do like a real final stock take to go, how accurate is it? Get it properly set up. And then hopefully now the team's in place and the new process is in place, that stock can really be 99% accurate. And we just then need to do sort of weekly sort of spot checks against the system, and it should stay pretty on spot on. So we just haven't got the time during the week, and when there's loads going on, you can't really stop. So we've assembled a dream team of amazing people that really demonstrate our DNA, which is actually give a shit, as one of our core company values and of our DNA. And we come in and we're going to get some Domino's pizza for lunch and some beers when we're finished to say thanks. And we've got a good team of us cracking through it. And that's what we're doing on this fine Saturday. Cracking on. We are wrapping up a long Saturday, but we are celebrating with a well-deserved pint, and can't quite believe it, because not that I doubted us, but I didn't genuinely believe we were going to get that whole 400 SKU lines or whatever it is all counted and done. So the first time in a long time, I can safely say to the accountants on our balance sheet, the stock valuation is spot on. And now with Mikey's new system, we are hopefully going to be set for good on a nice slick stock system for all parties, for our customers internally and for the books. So positive day, but a tiring one. But yeah, celebrating Saturday evening with brilliant company and a nice pint. So cheers, Nath. Cheers.
Cheers.
Until Monday. Goodbye. Something that I was just talking to Sam about, I was reading an article over the weekend, I think it was on Sunday Times, and they were saying on there that more companies have gone insolvent, bust in the UK in the past year than did in the 2008 and 9 financial crisis, which I sort of stood in a little bit disbelief for a little while, and then I kind of processed it for 10 minutes, sat there and just sort of was thinking, and I think it just made me realise actually how difficult it is right now for companies, us included. I think honestly in all the years that we have been running this business and involved in other things, I've never actually found it as difficult as I do at the moment. And I say that because it just feels so tough to manage cash flow and actually be a profitable business. The cost of everything's going up, but nobody is really aggressively enough, unless you're in the supermarket, putting the price up, to the end user, and it just feels at the minute a bit like a race to the bottom. And there's so many great companies in our industries, in other industries I've heard of, and then to read that article just kind of cemented my thoughts, how tough it is at the minute, and that no one's coming to sort of save us. I think the big thing that I sort of reflected on is that things are probably not going to get better. They're probably going to get worse before they get better. And then, at the time of recording this, the new Prime Minister said yesterday that, openly in a statement that the next budget is not going to be great news. And I think it made me realise that nobody's coming to improve things. You've got to kind of be your own, a bit of your own, worry about yourself in your own sort of economy within the business. But you've got to get better, because it's not going to get better for you. And my thing on that is, whether you're employed, you're an employer, freelance, my big thing is that you need to start working on getting better and be the best around, and now is not the time to put your feet up and sort of take it easy. I think it's just the economy is just going to get more aggressive, more difficult, and only the real passionate and truly great and people that are really working on that self-development and improving on the areas where they're weak are going to kind of potentially get through it. And I might be wrong, that's just my take on it, but it does feel like, even before reading that article, and I very rarely, I don't watch the news, I don't actually have live TV in my house. I don't really ever find the time to watch it, but I'm certainly not interested in it, because I think things like the news are very negative. But I do subscribe to some of the business newspapers and that, and when I read that, it kind of made me realise, yeah, it's feeling tough for me, but actually I'm not the only one. It's probably in the, finding it more tough than ever to manage cash flow, to be profitable, and to keep everyone happy at the same time, which is very bloody hard. So my only thing thought I would share with you, is that if you're going for a rough patch, and I've got a lot of friends that are, I've got more friends that are in financial difficulties and that have lost businesses, or acquaintances that have gone for administration. Some of the new staff that have recently joined us here have been victim of companies going into administration, and it's very sad. And I think my big thing with it is just trying to keep pushing on, but don't expect anyone's going to come and save you. You can only really save yourself, and my way of doing that is just to focus on being better, 1% better every day, and just learn and work on self-development. Now I'm going to have a coffee.
What are you doing over here today?
Well, we're back doing some electrical work. We're installing some extraction for the print machine, because it gets a bit stuffy in there. There's a lot of sockets to sort out as well, to make the place a little bit safer, or a lot safer, meet all the regulations and health and safety. So Taylor's staff members are all happy. So yeah, lots to go, and we're back doing the electrical stuff now, so good fun on the tools.
Hey Mikey, how did the stock take go? So it's gone really well, Sam. So obviously spending Saturday with the team, getting the numbers all done on all the stock take with the green stickers, means the levels are all correct and the numbers are correct. So when customers now make orders, we can take the box that we need, or 50 pens, move it down to work in progress. It's then not in stock, it's allocated to the customer, which makes us more efficient, quicker, less issues for the customer. As you can see, it's all really tidy as well down the aisles. So everything's been put into locations, which helps as well. So big step in the right direction, proactive rather than being reactive.
How's your day going, Cody?
Very good, Sam, to be honest. First day back from annual leave, super busy. Lots of household names passing through the facility, which is nice to see. But yeah, very, very busy. So the guys are completely run off their feet. But we've had some positive developments with our production software this morning, which makes things a little bit easier for the production team, a little bit more organised and efficient. We had an issue with one of our departments with some machines going down, but we've managed to get that back up and running. And the team have worked very hard today to work through the backlog of that, clear that, and without letting down any customers. So we've managed to still get everything to the customers on time and in full, which is a positive. And the team done fantastic to achieve that. And yeah, it's been a busy day.
We are assessing last year's figures for the Christmas related stock that we sold on the Totally Branded side of things. So custom promotional products that were Christmas related. So I'll give you some examples of like branded Christmas baubles that companies would buy to put on, say, their office Christmas tree. They would, instead of just buying normal baubles, they'd get their own company logo themed baubles that would decorate the office tree, or they'd do campaigns where they were sending it out to clients for some sort of Christmas festive, mailing campaign and the like. So they're quite popular, and they bridge a bit of a gap for us during that late November, December period, when other of the more common, like tote bags and more promotional products, die off a little bit because there's not many exhibitions. That season's sort of finished. So the Christmas related stuff is a nice bridge for us over that quieter period. But the difficulty is obviously, being seasonal based products, they're only going to sell for a month or so of the year. So when we buy in stock, and self-professed over the last few years since we started doing promotional Christmas related stuff, I've never got the stock right. We either underbuy or we overbuy, and we can never seem to forecast just right. Every year I try and build up a little bit more knowledge from the prior year's data to take a better stab at it. But the issue when you're importing these sorts of things like Christmas baubles and Santa hats, when you're not buying from a UK wholesaler, which in our industry is very difficult to, because otherwise we can't get the margin right and we can't let our customers have a good enough price, you're either well over or well under, and then you're kicking yourself if it's the 10th of December and you've run out of black branded baubles and you've got work and inquiries that you're then losing because you can't facilitate it, or you are bricking it if it comes to December the 31st and you've still got 5 pallets worth of the stuff that you're going to have to sit on for a whole year before you can even think about shifting it, and then your cash is tied up. So yeah, I hate seasonal stuff, and I really feel sorry for the businesses that have got to buy those seasonal products. You imagine like garden centres and things like that deck the place out, and they just got to hope that they have to shift that stuff in that small window. It must be so incredibly difficult. So we are just reviewing that data that Phil kindly put together for me before he left, and then I can make some informed decisions, and then tomorrow we should be in a position to fire off some purchase orders and get that stock on its way here, so that by the end of September we are stocked and ready to rock and roll for the festive period. I mean, the mad thing is that even in the last week or so, I've noticed we have got, because we overstocked last year a few things, there was orders already coming in for branded baubles and branded Santa hats that are coming in, that are in the production queue already, which is pretty wild. So it means we need to pull our bloody finger out and get the stock on the route. Otherwise we're going to miss the boat, because every year it feels like the Christmas demand comes earlier and earlier. But it's a good problem to have. So analysing spreadsheets, making as informed decisions as possible about our Christmas stock range and the volumes we should buy in. And then I'm going to a weekly business review. That's what we do. We are heading off to check in on the house that we have just completed, the 3-bed auction property that we've vlogged over the last few episodes of us slowly renovating that and getting it ready to go on the market. And it has been cleaned this morning, and the estate agents are coming to have a look and take photographs of the almost finished article to get it up on the market this afternoon. So me and Sam thought we would just have a pre-check and pop in there just to check that it is all good and show you the near completed article. This morning we have been overseeing some investment that we're putting into our IT infrastructure and our general improvements to our Wi-Fi speed, internet, our broadband, our IT security. It's just a bit of an investment plan that we've got to try and be proactive rather than reactive as the business grows. So as there's more and more users, more and more devices using our bandwidth, and I don't really understand it, or I don't profess to understand it all, but long story short, we want our internet to be able to keep up with us as we're growing and there's more and more demand, and be able to keep up with doing all the new stuff that we're trying to do, like upload things to YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So we're trying to make sure that we've got really good internet and that it can cope. And what we're understanding now is, because of the sheer amount of people that rely on our broadband and our IT, we're trying to be proactive with making sure everything is top notch with belt and braces, with infrastructure and security, having backup devices, having like switches, so if the internet drops out, if the mains electric drops out, doesn't mean this is almost like a backup generator, I guess, things like that, because of the cost to the business when you multiply, X amount of people's cost of them not being able to work for even a couple of hours. It's huge to the business and huge to our customers, that delay. So we've had Openreach in, we've had some of our preferred IT consultants and providers in over the last couple of days, and they are running all the wiring and upgrading everything. So quite an exciting time. Expensive nonetheless, but we've learnt from previous mistakes in the past that we need to be proactive with this sort of stuff rather than reactive, because otherwise it comes to bite you when you're least prepared for it or least expecting it. So I usually would wait and put those sort of things off until the very last moment when the mud hit the fan, so to speak, and then I would be told afterwards, well, if you'd have done this, if you'd have done that. So now with things like that, especially with the scale we're at, I'm taking a different approach, that I want to be ahead of it, belt and braces, rather than things falling apart and then us looking back in hindsight going, oh, wouldn't it have been good if we'd have forked out and done this, this and this, and we wouldn't be in this mess. So I'm still not going to get it all right, but I'm making a conscious effort for the team and for our customers, and trying to be proactive with our spend. So that's what we've been doing, and I'm very excited to see the results once all of these new lease lines and all of the new infrastructure goes live that we've been planning and paying for. So let's go and check this house out. Starting off in the back garden, which is 99% there. Little front gate needs to be put in play, but we've got the sprinkler on. The fresh turf is bedding in lovely, seems to be settling in nicely. We've got that sprinkler going because it's still warm this time of year. We don't want that turf to die. But the guys have done an incredible job. I'm so glad. We debated with the garden whether to do it, because we started to creep over budget. And it was a bit like at the end, do we, don't we? Obviously we went for these nice porcelain slabs, which I'm so glad we did. But it obviously did take a hell of a lot more work than we anticipated, digging it all up. But it's really made it that final finish that it needed, I think, to complete it. And therefore we've pretty much done everything. All we've got to do here is we've decided to keep the old shed, because inside it's pretty solid. It just needs a lick of paint and new felt on the roof and a bit of a tidy up, but other than that it's a solid shed, so it was silly to get rid of it. But everything else is looking brilliant. We started to get a few plants in. There's a few laurels we want to put along the back wall just to drown that road out, because I think if there's the one thing I don't like about this property, it's just the road, how noisy it is. Other than that, I love it, like the location, the little quiet cul-de-sac it's in, I think it's fantastic. It's just drowning that road out would be the only negative. So we can put some hedges in, it's brilliant, but we kept the levels, just sort of took the old brick wall out, cleared obviously all the vegetation and everything that was there, put these nice steps in, blended in the porcelain slabs, dug all that up, kept the drain there, but obviously put a proper drain cover in, and built that into the floor. Just, game changer really. It really has made a difference. Just need to do those final little snaggy pieces out here and we are done. But what a transformation in the garden. The garden, you really notice it from where it was that day. It was all chopped down to now. So yeah, pleased with that. Let's go inside. So into the kitchen. There's a fly. Out. It's gone now. It's flown over there. Oh, there's another one. Get out. Come here. Oh, Sammy's got you now. Oh, shit. Where is he? Where's he gone? Oh, I've got things to do. You watch. I mean, I shut the door, he's going to come back. Back. Sod. Get out. Oh, this is a joke. Yes, it's gone. Just put the light on. Ta-ba. So, into the kitchen. Really pleased with this because this was minging when we took it. It was just grease. The smell, I could not describe the smell. It was the smell of drains mixed with probably death. It was not nice. But we've done the kitchen was from Howdens. They've done us a wicked deal, and I'm really pleased. I actually love the concept that they came up with some of the storage spaces where they could really utilise to maximise storage for people. You got this big sort of larder there, huge amount of room. Given how small the space actually is in terms of the kitchen, I'm really impressed with just the sheer amount of storage space that we've managed to cram in. You wouldn't be tight for space in here in terms of storing your pots, your pans and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really pleased. John's put some under lighting, if that's what you'd call it. But you've got big space there, big space for your double fridge freezer, extraction in there, use some tiles as a bit of a backsplash. Nice hob, everything's in, yeah, really pleased. Came out really nice low maintenance, nice and straightforward, blends quite well with the room, and you've got a nice view out into the garden. So one thing I had at my house is we had a wooden windowsill behind the sink, and me would put stuff up there, and obviously where it's wet around the sink it just wrecks the wood. So what the guys said about here is you tie the tiles in, put that on there as your windowsill, so it's obviously not going to get mullered. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's good idea. And then obviously with the back door just used a really nice full open glass panel, because again it just lets lots of nice natural light in. Nice spots, fire alarms in. It's looking good. And that's the kitchen. Into the living room. Really glad again we replaced all the patio doors because they were mank before and all the fittings had gone. But again, just makes it where you've got that patio now. You can sort of walk out, it's fresh, it's clean. And it's just sitting here as well actually looks nice to look out into the garden. So it just makes it even more worthwhile. Gone for a nice grey carpet. I think it ties in really nicely with the walls. And yeah, just in general, just a nice space. I mean, it is a bit of an obscure shape, this building, but I think I could imagine it being a nice area. And Simon this was obviously a brick old fireplace that looked pretty naff and was mullered, so we chiselled all that away. And out of some offcuts of MDF that we were using for other things, he's actually sort of mock dummy fireplace up just to create a bit of a feature. One very talented man. So yeah, I was really impressed with that. Just something that creates a bit of a feature in here, which is nice. And then yeah, just new radiators throughout, new windows throughout. Obviously, you've got a nice view out into the cul-de-sac. Again, front garden. Nice new boiler, like I say, new boiler throughout, new central heating and everything like that. All done properly. Love the spots. Think it adds a real nice feature. And yeah, looking smart in the old living room. Again, it's just mad to stand up here. It was only 8-9 weeks ago, whatever it was. We stood up here and it was just, I mean, like I say, when we took possession of this, there was fleas, there was feces, it was just foul. I literally was wearing a mask to come in here, and now it's just, it's not a mansion or anything, but it's a beautiful home and really fresh. It's that fresh smell of it's like what when you'd step into a new build, because we've literally done everything from floor to ceiling. Everywhere's been replastered, new windows, new floorboards, new insulation, everything. So everything's fresh and really smells good. So it's come out really nice. The natural light is one of my favourite things, just because of the sheer size of the windows. The natural light that it lets in on a lovely day like this, this is your master bedroom, it's just stunning. You put your double bed there, you've got sockets either side, you put some nice curtains up, but it just lets such a nice amount of natural light in. Really is smart. Looking down there with the front garden, what we've done there, nothing too major, but makes a big difference. Just looks clean, slick, modern. But also the key being fairly low maintenance, which we think is what most people will want. Obviously you remember here, this was 2 rooms. So you had your individual sort of small toilet room, and then off to the right was the bathroom per se. And the guys knocked that down, and we've now made this one sort of L-shaped bathroom, which has just made it that little bit nicer. There's a bit of snagging to do in here. It's the one room where there's a few bits to be done, just some tidying up along here, bit of painting, bit of covering on some of the copper pipes and that sort of stuff. But other than that, really pleased with the tiles. They look nice, tying again downstairs. Nice taps. It's just fresh, clean. Everything looks smart, ready. We've got a nice towel railing. And yeah, nice. You know, not huge, but for an average couple, this is a nice sized bathroom and perfectly does the job. So yeah, really pleased with that. Looking good. Remember in here, there was this was disgusting in here. There was paint all up the wall. There was old shelves, floorboards were all cracked. I think it was a hanging glass door with all shattered glass. This was a very weird room, I must admit. When we stepped foot in here, we sort of wasn't really sure what went on in here. But again, looks good as new now. You'd never know, and it's just, this is the buzz of it. It's the days like today when you walk around, and all the trials and the tribulations with a project. So worth it, because you stand back and you're really quite proud to say, do you know what, we've took something that was a derelict hellhole to this, and you know, someone's hopefully gonna spend many years in here and have a nice home that they can be proud of. So really pleased with this. Again, nothing special, just regular, clean, nice skirting, nice white walls, nice soft carpet, fresh everything, ready for someone to put their stamp on it. Front garden, the last piece, just changed over. We didn't change too much out here, but we just changed over and added some decorative stone, just because I think that makes quite a difference to what was there previously. See, new front door, it's made a huge difference. This nice glass panel lets in a ton of natural light, as does these pieces of the door. Just floods that straight through the hallway and into the kitchen, which is really nice. Really nice new composite UPVC door, whatever you call it. Just looks smart. New windows again. Last bits of snagging to do out here. Re-tarmac the driveway where you can see it was but wasn't, so just got to finish that off next week, and then add back in, but we're going to put it a bit further back, a new gate and fence panel, just so you could fit 2 cars on this drive here as opposed to just the one. It's just an extra little plus. And then we just put a bit of a boundary wall, because a lot of the decorative stone and the prior stone was spilling onto the walkway there, so we just built a little bit of a raised sleeper bed with some plants and some shrubs, just so they can grow up and add a bit of colour, and also just divide the pavement off from the garden that little bit. But had all the fascia clean, new fascia put up on the top, old gutters cleaned off. Just need another window clean done and some of the externals finished off once the last bit of dust and grit is finished. Then we're done. It's going to be, yeah, I'm sort of really happy it's come to an end, but also I'm going to miss this project because it was so close to the office, literally 2-minute drive. The closest one I think we've ever done. So, yeah, but it's going to be good. It's been all credit to the team that have delivered it, to be fair. Shows the difference. The quality of trade you have on a project make all the difference, and the team that you go into doing it with makes a massive difference. So yeah, hopefully get this one wrapped up on the market and then get on to the next one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It'll be one for the history books, this one. That's it, that's what we're doing.